Hey guys, so CE5, here we go. So CE5 is really how my journey into extraterrestrial contact started. So back in 2007 stroke 2008 time, I was researching a lot of conspiracies and alternative theories on the internet and stumbled across ufology. I saw a image of a flying saucer above John Paul II's funeral, Pope John Paul II's funeral. And this led me on a quest that was like, I wonder if this is real, and led me on a sequence of Google searches that eventually led me to Dr. Stephen Greer, his Disclosure Project. I guess I watched the Disclosure Project first, where he gets a group. If you Google Disclosure Project, you'll see it's a 2001 video. That's where he interviews. They have this big conference with a load of military, high-ranking military personnel who disclose their own experience with UFOs in the military. And so from here, Dr. Greer talks about CSETI and the CE5 protocols. That's where he takes groups of people out into Joshua Tree Park, out into the desert, and various places around the world, remote locations, and does what he calls the CE5 Thought Coherencing protocols. So back in 2008, I was just kind of like picking up what I could from his videos, what he was sharing at the time, and piecing it together. And I pieced together what we may call my own CE5 Coherent Thought Sequencing protocol. I must just note that I'm not affiliated with Dr. Greer in any way. He encourages people to share the information, I believe, as long as they make it clear that they're not affiliated with him. So I make that clear. So I devised my own CE5 protocol. It was I was still living with my parents. I would do the meditations lying on my bed. I was new to meditating. I wasn't really comfortable in the lotus position, as I am still not. And so I was doing the meditations lying down. Like, sat up is preferable with it, because the idea of sitting up straight is you have an erect spine. And so all the chakras are aligned and all the energy can flow and ground you and more centered. But it is possible to do it lying down as well. And if you're able to ground and stay alert while you're meditating and not drowse off to sleep. So the CE5 protocol, Coherent Thought Sequencing protocol I developed for myself, went like this, based on Stephen Greer's teachings, with my own kind of imaginings of what I needed to do, because I don't think he was like sharing the full teachings so much back then. So what I did was, I would begin by, I believe, it was either visualizing a flying saucer first or the image of a grey extraterrestrial. And so all I knew at the time was the image of the classic grey extraterrestrial. That's all really alien meant to me at the time, I guess. So I began visualizing for the first two steps, like first of all the image of a flying saucer, and then the image of a grey extraterrestrial. And this begins when we're meditating, after we spent a little time meditating and going into a centered place where we can connect with going a little deeper now, what I know now, if we can like really begin to connect into these deeper vibrational brainwave states of the theta states, the alpha state first, the light meditation state, the theta state, the deep meditation state, the gamma state, which we may call the channeling state for the lack of deeper understanding as to what it is at the minute on my personal behalf, and the epsilon frequency, the epsilon vibration, the epsilon brainwave, and the lambda brainwave frequency. And so as we can begin to activate these brainwave frequencies within ourselves, we're balancing the hemispheres of the brain, we're entering into our higher consciousness, we're able to connect with our energy body, our soul, our higher self, our greater self, our infinite self, source consciousness, and really feel into the sensation of oneness and the feeling that reality really is within us, and we are connected to all of creation, and we are all one and the same organism thriving in a conscious universe that we are. And so as we go into this state through meditation, and this is why I've been been sharing so much background on consciousness and meditation and how to enter alternate states of frequency. As we begin to go into this state in meditation, we are able to begin to interact with the extraterrestrials. We're connected to the conscious grid, we're connected to the one self, and so we're really in interaction with our greater self, our greater consciousness. And beings and entities within that greater consciousness that are of a similar frequency to us in the moment are likely to connect with us. If you want enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. And so, yeah, so where do we go from here? So yeah, so we're in the altered state of consciousness, or perhaps the normal state of consciousness, as this becomes. And so from here, we're able to interact with the greater consciousness. We're able to interact with the ETs. And just by putting out the image in our mind's eye and kind of transmitting it and just sort of feeling into, are there any beings here that wish to connect? I sound like a psychic medium from the UK. And but just really doing it with true intention. It doesn't matter if you sound like a psychic medium from the UK if you're do it with true intention, like a lot of psychic mediums do in the UK. And so visualizing these images in our consciousness of a flying saucer and an extraterrestrial will immediately begin to zone our consciousness into that frequency, that perspective, and we'll begin to make a contact with the consciousness of the extraterrestrials in that moment on some level. And so from here, what I would do back in 2008, lying on my bed in my parents' house, would be to visualize the galaxy, our galaxy, the Milky Way, the spiral of the Milky Way. And from here, I would then visualize our solar system, or the planets in our solar system. You know, I still don't know how many there are, and it is in debate because there's like these smaller spheres, but is it 7 planets in our solar system? Something like that. So then we visualize our solar system, and then we visualize Earth from space, and then we visualize our country from space, and then we visualize like our location within our country, and then we visualize perhaps some landmarks, anything we can use to zone the ET consciousnesses in that are by now connecting with us and beginning to realize that there are some entities on planet Earth trying to initiate extraterrestrial contact. And there are, of course, now, it is now in a way easier than ever to initiate contact. One, because the frequencies are higher and we're more in that dimension where we can make contact anyway, but also because there's so many ETs here now as we're going through this acceleration of transformation that there's like probably like millions of ETs just not too far out in space, out there around your area, like sensing into the frequencies of Earth, like monitoring the frequencies. So it's not going to take too much for them, too much telepathic power to make the connection. So yes, so the idea is that so you're not like me and you don't know how many planets there are in our solar system, and when this is your main topic of discussion and you don't look silly on video, which you can't be bothered to edit, you prefer to be authentic. And so it's a great idea to look at some images, get some images up on the internet, and I keep saying this, I never do it myself, but get some images up of like our galaxy, exactly what our galaxy looks like, and really begin to integrate this in our consciousness. And of course this is a great exercise for connecting with galactic consciousness at the same time, just by looking at the image of a galaxy, of the Milky Way galaxy. Perhaps notice if you can begin to sense into the consciousness of the image and how this is the consciousness, or at least the entry point into the consciousness of the galaxy itself, and what I talk about as galactic consciousness earlier on in the course. So get up some images of our solar system, get up some images of planet Earth and your country, and like it'll just help embed it in your consciousness so you can visualize it better later on. And this is really the process. So Dr. Stephen Greer, he uses lasers. He be super careful if you're pointing lasers in the sky, because it's illegal to point lasers at aeroplanes. So be super careful if you're doing that in a near an aircraft zone. We don't have that problem here. I've only seen 3 airplanes in 3 months in this lockdown around here, so that's not an issue. But really, the lasers aren't necessary. I've never used lasers personally. I would just do the meditation, and perhaps it would have happened faster if I'd used the lasers. I doubt it. Everything had. Who knows? Who knows? But it took a couple of months really of doing this meditation. I would do this meditation every night, this coherent thought sequencing, and it was really like at least a month, 6 weeks before I started getting UFO ships above my house. And so I think I've told this story before, and this has been a long video already, so I'm not going to tell you the story about the 3 UFO sightings. I will get to it in the course if you want me to cover it in detail, and I probably will, because I haven't covered it in detail in this course. So this is really the protocol. It's the idea of connecting to galactic consciousness, cosmic consciousness, as Dr. Greer calls it in the in his methodologies. From here, visualizing. Don't worry if you're looking at this and you think, oh, I can't visualize, I hear this. Like, visualizing is really just imagining. There's like different layers of consciousness, and like, you know, some visions are direct connections to the galactic core and interdimensional beings, and some visions are more like astral in nature and more dreamlike, and some visions are more like what we would call imagination. I don't really know what imagination would be, but more non-solidified in an identity, not like more an imagination of an extraterrestrial rather than a direct connection with an extraterrestrial consciousness. But it's all one and the same. Like, if you can imagine what an extraterrestrial looks like, you can do this. So it's like you hear this idea of visualization, and like people say, I can't visualize, but like if you can imagine, you can visualize, because it's the same thing ultimately. It's just it goes deeper and deeper, and like visualizations connect to deeper and deeper layers of consciousness and higher densities of light and densities of reality. So this is the coherent thought sequencing process. I think I've covered everything I need to do. We can do this ideally out in nature, as Dr. Greer does, going out into the mountains, daunting as it is. It can be a great process. Dr. Greer recommends, I believe, doing it in like groups of 2 or 3, not doing it on your own. And I guess I'd recommend the same, because like, I guess, even though I've always done it on my own, and because like, if you're like unsure about energies and you're nervous, like I'd recommend like doing it in a group. Unless you want to face your fears, and you know that you like are eternal consciousness, and you know that like nothing can really happen to you, and you just want to face it all head on, like some people. But it's when you're in a group of 2 or 3 people, you hold a stronger consciousness. Like if you're out at night time on your own, you're less likely to get sucked into fear patterns, which could connect to weird consciousnesses, which I experience all the time around here. It's no big deal. Like, there's weird consciousnesses knocking on your door all the time when you're a channel in the Andes, but it never bothers me, because like I just I'm devoted to a higher purpose, and when you're devoted to a higher purpose, there's an energy that flows through us that kind of like naturally just keeps us safe and in love and in a great place. So so go out into nature, or even try in London, in your city home. It will be more difficult. Obviously, the Yahyel can't be just expected just to like appear over London because you've done a CE5 and like scare the living daylights out of 2.6 million people, or however many see them. So and they have to respect people's free will, and people that aren't in the belief of this, they can't just appear outside it and like shatter their free will and shatter their reality and shatter their own path and their own journey. This is the reason the ETs don't just land on the White House lawn. One of the reasons. Because they have to respect the free will of humanity, and the majority of people on Earth at the minute don't want extraterrestrial contact because they don't know extraterrestrial contact is a possibility. and we're all on our unique journeys of consciousness, and we have to discover this for ourselves. This is the scary thing about this reality. Like, our beliefs create our reality, and like people that are like heavily embedded in their physical mind, they literally can't see this stuff, and they have to begin to grow in consciousness themselves, and have to begin to explore different realities before they can begin to reflect back to us the information like this, and the contact experiences. And if the ETs were to suddenly like show up in the middle of London or land on the White House lawn, they would be infringing on other people's free will to choose their own journey, because people lost in the deepest darkness, it's their free will to go on that journey. And it's a fine line and a dance, how much the ETs can infringe, you know, if it's like if they, yeah, I think you get the idea. I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, so I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Have a great day. Peace out, guys. Shivai.